Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Kyra and today we are resurrecting my stash or trash series all about new releases. So in its essence, this video is a will I buy it video. We're just going to scroll through Trend Mood together and we're going to talk about whether I'm going to stash it on my wish list or trash it from my mind and my channel forever. So let's talk about the elephant in the room. I did watch last night, shortly after it went live, the video in which the palette or collection between Shane Dawson and Jeffery Starr was revealed. And I have to admit, this is pretty. I don't think that this picture that they're necessarily showing online does it justice, at least not the first picture, but I think this looks pretty. I don't own any Jeffery Starr as of yet. I'm not opposed to it. I do generally know why he's canceled by some people, and I completely respect that. However, I do believe in people's ability to change, and having watched the amount that I have watched of the series that Shane's been doing on his channel, I don't know, you guys. Jeffery seems like a good person, and we all make mistakes, and I think forgiveness is really important. So that aside, this is a really beautiful palette. Yes, I think if you cover up the few pops of color, it is somewhat neutral, it's a little muted, and it's somewhat cool tone. I think this is pretty. I would purchase this. I also love that the mini palette is not the same as the main palette. It has some blues in there. So if you wanted to get both, you're not necessarily getting repeat shades as far as I can tell. But, you know, I think it's a pretty selection of colors, and I think Shane and Jeffery really did a good job. I really enjoyed watching this series, with Shane sort of going through the entire 1 year process that it takes to create an eyeshadow palette, at least in Jeffrey's company. In terms of the pricing on the Jeffery Starr and Shane collab, the Conspiracy palette is $52 and the mini is $28, and then you have bundles and merch and lipsticks and all of that, but I really just wanted to talk about the palette. I think the price is fair, and I think it's comparable to what we've seen from Jeffery Starr in the past, if not a tad cheaper. Say what you will about the folks that made this, but I think just looking at this palette, it's something I would be interested in. So I'm going to say a stash. Next, we have Urban Decay is putting out a new Moondust palette. It's called the Party Favor Moondust palette, and it's been a while since they put out one of these palettes. It is a very different formula from what I've heard and what I've seen than a lot of their eyeshadows. I still hear people use and love their Moondust palettes, so I think this is something that you know, those people might enjoy. The colors look very sort of neutral, but I think this would be a nice like go-to glitter palette, let's say, or like texture glam palette. You could use whatever mattes you want if you're into that, and then you can just top it with one of these beautiful textured shadows. The palette is coming soon for holiday 2019, and it is going to be $29 for 6 shades. I think it's pretty. I'm not going to pick it up. I just don't need it. I recently picked up, you would have seen in a Get Ready With Me last week, that I picked up a couple of the Rachel Zoe and Lorac palettes, and this one right here is all glitter, and the other one has glitter as well. I think I'm set on glitter right now, if I'm being honest, but it is really pretty. It's something I would be interested in. I'm just not right now, so I'm going to say trash. Ooh, this is interesting. Sephora is collaborating with Milk Makeup for a brush set. It is $58 limited edition, and it seems to include a setting powder brush, cream sticks brush, which makes sense because milk has mostly creams, a foundation brush, a highlighter brush, a concealer brush, and a canister. Bonus! The set's going to be $58. I think I said that. It says to check back. Again, this is for Hollywood. Holiday 2019. I'm sorry, I'm a little rusty. These brushes look really nice. Like, the quality looks nice. I don't need any of these brushes personally, but the powder brush and what I'm assuming is the highlighter brush both look like something that I would like. I think this sleek sort of tapered handles in the silver is consistent with the Milk Makeup brand, as well as, you know, the elegance and whatnot of the Sephora brush brand. So I don't, like I said, I don't need these. I do think they look beautiful. They look quality, and you can keep your canister. I'm going to say trash.
We have here KKW Fragrance, don't care. Morphe is putting out lip stuff.
Yes. Anastasia Beverly Hills. This is interesting, and I was watching Samantha March's Will I Buy It before I was, like, as I was eating lunch before I filmed this video, and she also addressed this new release from Anastasia and Norvina. These are mini eyeshadow palettes by Anastasia Beverly Hills, part of the Norvina collection by Norvina. And that was what Samantha brought up. We'll talk about the palettes in a minute, whether I want them or not. But that was Samantha's point, and that was that she saw a lot of people on Twitter, and I don't tweet or Twitter. I'm tweetless in Seattle or Colorado. But she said that she saw some tweets where people are like, come on, ABH, like, quit throwing new releases at us. And Norvina tweeted back and said, or however that works, and she said that the Norvina collection was actually sort of kind of supposed to be a new brand or a sub-brand that is hers and not her mother's, who is actually Anastasia. And that makes sense, but at the same time, the point that Samantha made, and I also agree with this point, is why didn't we hear about this? Generally, if there's like a new brand or a sub-brand or a sister brand or who knows what, we'll hear about it. For example, when ColourPop came out with their skincare line, and, you know, their sister brands, we heard about it. Like, this is our new sister brand. This is our new whatever. And we didn't hear that about Norvina. So, I don't know. It makes me wonder if it really was that, or if they're just trying to sell it as that now to sort of soothe the controversy or the uproar about so many new releases without any time in between. But the other thing I heard about this, and, you know, I don't swear to any of this, like, I don't know it to be true. These are just things that I'm bringing up, food for thought. But I had also heard that Anastasia Beverly Hills had been bought out. And as a result of that, I think it was Sarah Hubler maybe that talked about this in a Needs or Nah or whatever. Needs or Nopes, I think. She talked about how when a company gets bought out, usually the investor likes to recoup their investment in a certain amount of time, 2 years, 1 year, what have you. And I think what the point that she made was that because Anastasia has been bought out or invested in, what have you, they're releasing so many new releases in the hopes that people will buy more and the investor can recoup their investment quicker. All of that aside, let's talk about these mini palettes. Let me know down in the comments what are your thoughts. I certainly can understand the school of thought. There's just too many too quickly. Even for me, I bought all 3 of the Norvina collection volumes, and it was a lot really quickly, and I won't ever do that again because it was so hard to put out the quality content that I wanted to in order to review those palettes for you guys when the releases were so close together and to be competitive with other creators. So, the new palettes. Insofar as I can tell, there's not a ton of shade overlap in these. I think it's more of a vibes type thing. I do think they're really cute. I love minis, although I wasn't a fan of the formula for the Huda Beauty mini obsession palettes or whatever they're called. These are going to be $29 each, which again, I don't know, you guys. If you do the math, you're getting 9 shades for $29 and you're getting 25 shades for $60. So you're getting more than double the shades for just about double the price. They're pretty. Do I need them? No. Even if they're not shade overlaps, which I feel like they're not based on having done a lot of looks with the big palettes, I still would have purchased the big palettes. Had these palettes, these minis, been released on the exact same days, they're over here, that's why I'm pointing over here, I don't know. Had these been released on the same day as the big palettes, I still would have purchased the big palettes, and I still would not have purchased these palettes. I've spoken about it before, but I do art, I paint, and in general, color is life to me. Look forward to some rebranding in December. But when I bought the large palettes, I bought them because I felt like I was buying a palette of paints in which to paint my face. And so for me, more is better. But not everybody looks at eyeshadow that way. Not everybody's a YouTuber. And so ultimately you just have to figure out within yourself if you're going to completely pass on the collection or the new brand supposedly, or if you are going to go for more or less. Some people love big palettes. I happen to be one of those people. Again, like I said, it's like buying a new palette of watercolors, so to speak. And I do like minis, but given the choice, I'm going to pick the big palette every time. So I'm going to say trash for this, but these are definitely not trash. If you are curious or keen to try the larger palettes, but you didn't want to pay the full price, or you didn't want to commit to so many colors because larger palettes overwhelm you, which is a common school of thought, these might be great for you to test out this new formula, because this is definitely a new formula from ABH or Nervina. Anywho, there's a lot of drugstore releases right now, which is great. I'm just not interested in talking about any of those. Tati Beauty. Let's talk about it. You know, like I said, I'm just reviving this series, and so I'm a little rusty and I'm a little behind by the time you guys will see this, but the Tati palette is available now. If it's not sold out, this is the Textured Neutrals Volume 1. These are $48 for the palette. Has 4 textures: matte, sequin, metallic, and glitter. 6 tones: memory, ritual, story, soothe, aura, and poet. So texture seems to be on everybody's minds lately, and I think that's really cool. I do love different textures of eyeshadow and other face makeup. And so when I first saw this palette, I was like, yeah, that is really cool. And when I see others applying these eyeshadows and whatnot, I think it's really, really beautiful. The palette is more sleek than I thought it was upon originally seeing it online, now that I've seen it on other people's channels, which is great. But I don't know, you guys. First of all, everybody's saying it because it says volume 1. We would have to assume that there will at least be a volume 2, and because it also says textured neutrals, I'm wondering if she's going to put something out that's more colorful and more my aesthetic. I do love me some neutrals. I have a pretty neutral eye on today, and I've definitely been going for neutrals lately, but I have enough neutrals in my collection in all very different textures. Could I dupe this palette out shade for shade? Probably not, and I think it is gorgeous. I absolutely think it is a beautiful palette. Congratulations to Tati Westbrook. I think this is a really beautiful first release. I'm glad that people are excited about it, even though they were very unexcited by the release of vitamins or supplements. So I think it's a fair price for the palette. It is higher, but from what I can tell, it's very innovative, and I imagine, based on what I've seen on other people's channels, you know, seeing the textures of the shadows and whatnot, you know, it does, I think it takes more time and money to formulate and make those types of things, and therefore we can expect to pay a little more, but it is absolutely gorgeous. I just don't think I'm going to buy this one. I think it's beautiful. Would I use it if it appeared on my doorstep? Absolutely. But for me, I'm going to say trash. And then let's go ahead and wrap this up with a drugstore release, because we're already at 20 minutes and I talk too much. This is a new release from Physicians Formula, and it is available now. It says in-store only at CVS. Sometimes we see these things at my Walmart, and I'm guessing you can also order it on the Physicians Formula website. I'll check that and correct myself on the screen if I lied. But it's called the Rose All Play Eyeshadow Bouquet. Okay. Includes shimmer, matte, and satin finishes. Soft and ultra creamy texture. Can be applied wet or dry. This is really pretty, especially from the drugstore. It even looks like a higher end or even like a ColourPop palette, because it looks like it's in, you know, sort of a streamlined cardboard packaging. It even reminds me a little bit of the Huda New Nudes palette, in that it has sort of those sparkly, almost mottled or marbled shadows that are probably going to be absolutely stunning. I love that the other shades have that imprint of the rose, like a lot of their Rosé All Day stuff. And I imagine the textures are gorgeous. I haven't tried eyeshadows from Physicians Formula. I was going to try their butter eyeshadow palettes, but overall they did not get good reviews, and based on what I saw and what people said, I didn't think it would be a good fit for me, and it would end up getting decluttered. But if I can find this one, I just might pick it up. Of course, I'll have to see it in person, but I'd be really curious to try this formula and hope that it's an improvement upon the previous formula. So there you go. I'd be curious to hear down in the comments what you guys have to say about these new releases, or if you want to tell me another new release that you're excited for, that you're going to stash or trash. I hope you guys will enjoy the resurrection of this series. I really wanted to get back to doing it because I have a lot to say about new releases, obviously. And thank you so much for spending part of your day here with me today. Let me know in the comments if you're happy to see this series come back, and I hope all of your makeup days are absolutely beautiful makeup days, and I will see you in my next video real soon.